All right, many thanks, Timothy Yusuf, for that background report. Now, to begin our conversation, let's begin by introducing our guests, one here in the studio, and I'm introducing Enne Ede, who is a gender advocate. A pleasure to have you again on Good Morning Nigeria.
Thank you, and congratulations to you, the men, the he for she, the real male champions, for being here today exclusively.
Thank you so much. You know, our women, we had to let them go so that they can have a rest and come back, better, rejuvenated, and, to give us, we're investing in them.
Thank you
in
so
their
much.
growth. All right. Joining us from our MENA studio is Ajia Lare Ibrahim. She is Director, Women Affairs, Niger State Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development. Hajia Ibrahim, it's good to have you join us for today's discussion.
Thank you. Good morning.
To you. Also joining us via Zoom from New York, USA, is Lizzie Asomugba from the Center of Excellence for Gender Technology and Sustainable Development. Lizzie, it's good to have you join us.
Good morning, Nigeria, and I'm happy to join.
Okay, let's stay with you, Lizzie, and we're looking at the theme for this year's Women's Celebration, which is investing in women and girls. What exactly does that mean, and how crucial is this to the development of the nation?
Thank you again for having me. The theme for the year is Give to Gain, because when you give, you gain. When you empower a woman, you're empowering the whole world. Just take it to the family level. When you give your wife just 5,000 naira, she could make a pot of soup with it. Women have been blessed by God. Women are the backbone of everything. They know how to manage. And we have come out, and women are also shaping the world. They've taken leadership position, and they in New York for the CSW. Our own bright star, Amina Mohammed, is making us proud. So all we are calling on is that women should be given more opportunity at the global space. Women should be given more appointments. Women should be given more opportunity in politics, maximum participation, because they have shown capacity. Women have shown that they can do it.
Thank you very much. Let me stay with you, and I'd like you to make a comparison, how Nigeria compares in terms of opportunities for women, empowerment, and all of those with the rest of the world, if you may.
Okay. Women in Nigeria are not doing badly. When you compare it to the world, let's start with the DG of World Trade Organization, our own Okonjo-Iweala. In the global space, she has shown capacity. The women in Nigeria, our ministers, are also doing so very much like their counterparts in all over the world. Talk of the Deputy Secretary General at the United Nations. She's also doing well in the global space. Look at the female chief executive officers, the DGs and the MDs and the rest of them. They are also not doing badly in the global space and in Nigeria. And also the social entrepreneurs. Women have shown capacity in what they are good in doing. Most of them are traders. Most of them are the corporate world in the finances and all that. And they are leading the banking industry, all the industries in Nigeria and in the world. And they have shown that what women cannot do does not exist. Let me put it that way. I don't think there's been any position that have been giving women that they have disappointed Nigerians in any way. That's why we are standing up to say that more opportunities should be given to us. Nigerian women are doing exceptionally well, but we can do better when we are being given the opportunity at the national level, at the state level, and at the local government level. And I must commend the government that has also done well to make sure that women are being included in their government. I know in Nigeria there was a governor from Southside. Throughout his tenure, women were the vice local government chairman of all the local governments in the small states. So that is the type of call we are calling on all Nigerian leaders to please give us more opportunity. I must commend them so far. They are doing well, but more can be done.
Lizzie, for that, your opening remarks that women are doing exceptionally well in position of authority, but I want to a little bit disagree with you when you say that what women can do does not exist. Well, I don't want to contend with you there, but then there are a lot of things that I believe that women. But let me just introduce one of our guests that just joined us, and that is talking about Dr. Olajumoke Adeniyi, who is the head of operations Hassan Foundation. Dr. Adeniyi, it's good to have you join us.
Thank you so much for having me here. It's been my pleasure.
All right.
Happy International Women's Day.
Happy International Women's Day. Okay, let's just relax a bit, but let's talk to Madam Eden now. Let's have your perspective, on today's discussion, which is investing in women and girls, and how crucial is that to the development of the nation?
If you look at what is happening now, as we are having this conversation, see our sister Lizzie, wherever you are within the 250 states of the United Nations, of the United States, you know that we are 5 hours ahead of them. So it's a lot of sacrifice for her to be up. That is symbolic. That is what women can do. My sister from Niger, the director of Women Affairs, you can see that even though she's fasting, she must have done so much. She's still here to contribute to nation building. So if you look at that alone, my sister who came in, if you know what she has gone through to be here, you will know that there is a need to give more opportunities to women and girls. If you know what I went through to be here this morning, you know too that it's very important. So when they say giving to gain, I want to salute NTA particularly. I watched your report last night, the Newsline report, fantastic report. I've not seen any media so far. I monitor media a lot because that is my area of intervention. I saw the report you did, the sectorial report. I don't know how you're able to get the resources to do all that. It brought out so much. This is the best International Women's Day celebration so far I've seen in the history of Nigeria. Wow. Because the Air Force, the chief of the air staff himself came out to voice his support for the empowerment of women in the Air Force. The Army, the Navy, places that you think, oh, these are regimented, they did that. And you heard it. If without you airing it, we wouldn't have been able to get it. So you are giving, and you are gaining, because you are gaining more support. And I know that more people, more industrialists will want to place their adverts on your station. So you don't give anything to a woman and you lose. It's just like when you give a seed to a woman. The seed comes in form of human being. Could be one, could be two. We have had opportunities of one woman giving birth to 16 children at a time. So if you look at that, you know that it's very important to give so that you gain. So without women being involved, it will be so difficult to be able to get to where we are, where we should be as a country. I'm glad that my sister avoided talking about statistics. Thank you so much, Dr. Lizzie, for that analysis. You avoided statistics deliberately. Commended government for what they are doing so far, but they can do more. So giving more opportunities to women is important. NTA, you can see what is happening to you. When you had GMNTA International, you had GMNTA 24, you had Director News, you can see the impact.
They're women.
Yes, they are doing so well. It brings out the quality of NTA. So it's important to give. You can't give without gaining.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. And, let me take the short trip to Mina, where we have Haja Hadiza Idris Kuta joining us. Now, Haja, from the state government's perspective, and not necessarily Niger State now, what concrete programs would you say you have seen that are currently supporting women and girls?
Once again, I'm Lara Ibrahim, representing the Honorable Commissioner of Niger State Ministry of Women Affairs, Hajia Hadiza Idris Kuta. Niger State is actually a very wonderful state, especially when it comes to women. Now that we are celebrating the International Women's Day, a lot of impacts have been made, like we have the Nigerian for Women project, which is a project that is specifically meant for women at the local level, at the local government areas. And the women are actually doing very well because the state is being supportive of every part of that project. So if you ask me, our Niger State is doing well with their programs. We have entrepreneurship programs too that are being handled by various organizations or entrepreneurs who are handling the part of skills acquisition for women. So Niger State is doing wonderfully well. Our Honorable Governor is very supportive of the programs that we have. Thank you.
Good. But let me stay with you. Now, many people want to think or say that women in the northern part of the country are usually reserved. Now, does this impact the amount of opportunity or equality in that part of the country where you are?
Gender equality is a very important part of women. However you see it, at the local level, as far as we are concerned in Niger State, we have penetrated and we're still penetrating the local governments. They are doing well. A lot of women are being empowered with skills, especially in the areas of agriculture. We have a lot of women farmers now who are doing so well in the production of rice, growing of shea butter, and other agricultural products. So to say that we don't enter the local areas, we do, even though we have issues of the boundary tree, which is also in control now. A lot of women have now come out to really be part of these celebrations without us, even at the local level, because they now come in, we pull them from where they are back into the central MENA or Niger State. They come for skills acquisitions. We train them on how to process a lot of products like the extractions of groundnut oil, because we have women farm groundnuts here. Like I said, the rice processing too is one of those things that we do at the local level, and then other agricultural products. We're doing well. We're doing well even at the local level. We're doing well. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Hajia Ibrahim, for that. Let's get back to the studio now, and let's bring in Dr. Adeni into the discussion. Who's just talking about gender equality, and we know it's also obvious that there is a lot of gap when we talk about, gender equality now. What do you think government can do and individuals to close that gap, especially in education and, economic opportunities? Or what platforms should be used to do this?
Okay, thank you very much for this question. One of the things that I believe that the government can do, we need to ensure that the policies are more women supportive. Take, for example, when a woman gives birth, the average that we have in most Nigerian states is 4 months. But technically, if you want a child to thrive, you want to give out, you say a child must have exclusive breastfeeding, which is 6 months. And the only state that I know of that has implemented that is Lagos. Other states, in other countries, a woman can be given even up to 9 months. Yes, in Britain, if you want to even stay beyond that, you can choose to either stay back and work without pay or work partially. And you know that your work is still intact when you return. So number one, if a woman is given the opportunity and the support that she's given, as well as the man, there is a 2% increase in the GDP of that country. That's about billions of naira. You're not having to recruit another set of new recruits, training them, because the person that has the skills has gone on maternity leave. She has the skills, she has the experience, her work is intact, and you give her the support that she needs. Tell me the woman that you're going to give the support that she needs and she's not going to give her best at that job. So economically, the government is giving, when you're giving support, maternal support, which is lacking in lots of Nigerian states, you're going to get a thriving GDP in your economy. So you're not losing anything. These Britain countries have done it, they are doing it, and it's working for them, and they are thriving. Secondly, companies, organizations, private-owned organizations. You can't say, okay, it's just the government. You run an organization. Most private companies, maybe they just give three months. Some even give 1 month. Some even give weeks. And they expect you to leave a child at home. If you know that, okay, you have this limited amount of months, do you have daycares? Do you provide support at the places of work, even during that period? After the resumption of a woman in Lagos, say about 6 months after, you're allowed to close 2 hours lesser than the normal closing time, earlier than your normal closing time, so that you can have adequate support. So you know that the hours where you're at work, you give your best, and you're not being distracted. So you can also go home and give your best. When a woman's mind is at peace, she can give her best optimally. Raise boys that respect girls. Raise your sons. Let them know that girls should be respected. At home, what are the fathers teaching their sons? Are they speaking to the mother anyhow in the presence of the child and give the child the opportunity to disrespect any girl that he sees outside? Or are you standing up and saying, no, you don't treat your sister like that. You don't speak to girls like that. Because when we have a safe community, eventually, a safe family rather, it will spread out into the community and, of course, the nation at large. So that is what we need to do as individuals and as government organizations.
Now, there are many empowerment programs in Nigeria, yet women struggle economically. What would you say we are doing wrong and that can be better, done?
Okay. Concerning the empowerment program, a lot of them are short-term based. If we have longer term, longer impact, instead of, let's say, one-off program, for example, International Women's Day, just celebrate it one day, or you do a donation one day, are we giving it a span for like 5 years, 10 years, and let it be consistently channeled toward that focus? Some of the companies, some organizations, some international partners come in, they give their program long span. And they know the reason why they are doing it. They know that if they do this thing, you run it for 5 years, you run it for 10 years, you give it a long incubatory period, the system will stand. So we can't keep doing the same thing the wrong way and expecting to see different results. We need to, if we're doing short-term empowerment, it's either we call upon partners, we ask for the government, we ask for a better budget line to support and to ensure that these programs are not just short-lived, because we see the impact of the programs. During the period, the women come, they receive the support, but afterwards, what happens if you do it for like a month? They go back to the way they were. But if you run it for a longer period, you see that support consistently improving. You've created a new system, and of course, you will get new results in that capacity.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Adeni. Let's go back to our Zoom guest that is talking about Lizzie. Lizzie, earlier on, you talked about the different initiatives and the contributions of women in national development, which you mentioned, Okojo Iweala, Amina Mohammed, and so many others. But we still know that there are still a lot of cultural and social barriers, hindering women, for contributing or having access to finance, education, and healthcare. How do we begin, to address all these cultural barriers, for us, for the women to be able to give their best?
Thank you very much. The first thing we have to do is starting at the rural level. Let women be educated. Let them know they need to come out. That the days are gone where they say women belong to the kitchen. No, that's no longer the case. Now women are out. What do we need to do? We need to start from local government level. Educate the women, because knowledge is power. Some of them, they have talent, but that have not been discovered. And also, as long as you are also giving them that training, just as my sister, Dr. Adeni, said, it has to be for a good period of time. You cannot just do a one-off thing and say you have done something. No. International Women's Day, what I do within my circle is to make sure there is a program throughout the month of March, which is a month of celebrating women. Let me also appreciate Madam Ene for her contribution. She said something that is very, very critical. What effort are we making? We have all made effort to join online, and they have made effort to come to the studio. And also, Madam Ladi, who joined from Niger State. Let me also commend her, because I'm aware that Niger State, they are doing perfectly well in agriculture, to the extent that the governor preferred to be addressed as farmer, Bako and all that. So what we need to do at the state level, at the local government level, women should be engaged. And if you check in Nigeria, to be fair, women are actually doing a lot to empower, unlike the men. I'm sorry. Like Abuja, for example, where I live, everybody is into real estate. But women are doing empowerment. They are building factories. They are training girls on how to make real sanitary pads. They are empowering people home cooking and how to sew dresses and all that. Unlike the men, it's all about real estate. That, of course, that's the creative business. So women are giving a lot. Like I tell people, giving is no one exclusive right. Everyone has something to give. Sharing knowledge is giving. Bringing ideas is giving. Just like in Roshi, we say, serve with your 3 T's, your time, your treasure, and talent. Every woman has been blessed with so many things up there. All we need to do is for government to give us support at the local level, at the state level, and at the national level. Let us organize trainings that will educate people so that we'll find the talents. And there are so many people out there with talent. All you need to do is to bring them out, and they will show you what they are capable of.
Stay with you again, and I'd like to talk about technology, something that will resonate well with you. Technology is reshaping economies, as you would know. Now, how can digital tools help to expand opportunities for women and girls in Nigeria?
Again, for that question, of course, this is technology time. That's why I can connect Nigeria from New York. Now, so many ladies, I'll continue to say advocacy matters a lot. So many people have this cell phone and they don't know with it they can connect the world. They don't know with it they can make money. Some people live on social media. There is a lot they can do with phone, creating flyers, creating events, and having events online. It's no longer a situation where you need to bring yourself to the studio to make your contribution, or you need to bring yourself to the classroom to learn. Even in Harvard Business School, there's online learning with certificates. So it is very important we educate our girls to know the power of technology, how they can use the phone to connect the world and to also make money. There are so many of them, so many apps, artificial intelligence, machinery, and all that, which they know that just holding a phone, a lot can be done and a lot can be achieved. They can even make money.
For that, we just want to remind our viewers that you can also contribute to this discussion. The numbers is displayed on your screen there. By just ask questions, or you can send your comment via text messages, please. All right, let's come back to the studio. Madam Ede, I know you wanted to contribute to that discussion when we talked about the social and cultural barriers hindering women. I still want you talk about it. And also, we talked about women that have made marks in different fields of endeavor, both in Nigeria and also overseas. But what role are they actually playing in mentoring the younger ones?
They are doing a lot. Let me take, for example, somebody like Amina Mohammed, which is one of the biggest, highest positions that is being occupied by a Nigerian woman of northern extraction. Because you had asked earlier, because if you watch what happens, if she has any program around Nigeria, she will just take the opportunity. I don't know how the process is, and just touch home. She's not just sucked in there. in New York and moving around, you know how demanding the office is. I've seen her do a number of things. It's somebody I had known closely when she was a Sakefa leader. That is the NGO that deals with education of both boys and girls. So she did very well before she became Minister of Environment. And you see the progression. That speaks to what all my sisters have said about giving the opportunity so that you can gain. If we didn't give Aja Amina opportunity, we won't be gaining as Nigeria. I'm sure all of us are super proud of what she's doing. And if you look at somebody like Pauline Tallen, Dame Pauline Tallen, the one-time Minister of Women Affairs, she happened to be the first woman in Plateau to contest to be governor, a governorship. I was at her campaign. When she was denied ticket in PDP, she went to Labour Party. She did very well. And up to this time that she's not in government, she has a structure of mentoring younger ones, even older ones of her age. So overall, I've seen a number of women taking liberty to mentor people. I saw a letter yesterday by Dr. Amina Salihu, MNI, and there's something she does. Every year she writes to a particular person, one person, and she encourages us to write. She particularly writes to men to honor them on International Women's Day. This year it was Miliki, who is a local advocate. I say local. He's embedded within Kogi State, and he's doing very well. So it's also a form of mentorship. Most of the women are not only mentoring women, they're also mentoring men. We are product of mentorship. The first Minister of Women Affairs, Ambassador Judith Atari, recalled, she said, look, the way you are doing your advocacy is you should study law because it will help you. It didn't make much sense to me then. So that is also mentorship, somebody giving you guide, hand holding you. I've seen what Dr. Aja Aisha Ismail, one of the most profound Minister of Women Affairs, had done, and she's still doing to women. And I've seen how people like Mrs. Anene, who brought women from different political parties and brought them together. I said, look, our issues are similar, whether you are from the north, from the south, from the west. Come, let's work. There is a women's party. So let's make this thing partyless. I know it didn't go down with some of the people because she suffered a bit of backlash. But she's still happy that she was able to do the mentorship across political parties. And today, many other women are taking it up. Recently, Baobab for Women Rights, Yeyebumi Dikpo Salami, she's mentoring boys, like my sister said, which is profound. If we have been doing that incrementally and we are not doing advocacy, we are not doing activism, we will not go agree or we will not go agree. The kind of members we have in the 10th Assembly, we wouldn't have had them respond to us like they are responding to us on special seats. So generally, women both at local level, at international level, at different levels, there has never been a time in the history of Nigeria where we are taking mentorship as serious as we are doing. Not minding that it's not that you have to have money, donor money. Women are using their money to do mentorship. I've seen a number of them, and it's working. If you look at the crop of women in government now, I remember what Barrister Sharon Ikeazo did, where I gave her media support. She groomed a number of young girls under APC. She started as CPC woman leader. Okay. Many of the girls she groomed today, many of them are in government. There are many of these, I don't know the connection between them and President Tinubu, but I know that he had picked at least 90% of the women she mentored. The same thing with Honorable Stella Okotete. There are women doing very silent revolution. And that is why I'm particularly happy that the younger women in government go and see Citizenship and Leadership Center. It was established in 1953. There has never been a young woman. There has never been a woman even. It was people of the category of our grandfather. Bisola is one of the mentees of Sharon. Sharon was Minister of State for Environment. So women given any opportunity, they will use all their resources. Like my sister Lizzie said, their talents, their energies, their resources, their social capital, and multiply. So let us look at the multiplier effect that will cost Nigeria next to nothing. So why won't you invest in somebody who will give you so much, get value for your money?
Now, sorry, there's one more. The issue of the social and cultural barriers that you...
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, thank you so much. You see, what we keep saying, we had a gender transformatory convening last week by Church Aid and Christian Aid, sorry. And what we agreed, everything was broken down into, everything that looked like barrier was shredded, because there were this group of people, they call them side by side. There were the male champions, there are the female champions, the traditional gatekeepers, the faith leaders, all of them who were acting as gatekeepers and preventing women from unleashing their potential. They have all come to agreement that, look, we can do this together. I recall telling the Anglican Communion, I had the opportunity of being a panelist. I said, growing up, when I was a full-time housewife, somebody said, full-time housewife, I said, yes. People thought it was empowerment when my husband then said, look, you won't work. You have a chef, you have a cook, you have a dry cleaner, you have all sorts of vehicles, you cannot drive. I knew something was wrong, and I resisted. So I am happy that, like the Anglican Church said now, they will mainstream that into their marriage counseling, so that if they say, woman should not work, you are a lawyer, or you are a banker, you are a professional, the husband says, sit at home, take care of the children, and have everything. You know that it's an act of violence and it's limiting the natural resources that the country has. So I'm glad that they are accepting. So the traditional rulers are now beginning to see that there will be no need to limit themselves. It's about themselves now. So all about the culture is the religion. They are beginning to see that no culture is static, no religion is static. They are doing so much. If you see, before you have a long chest, but now you have it. Our Muslim brothers and sisters, they have it just like this, my ring. And the Christians, so they have an audio Bible. So why are you not static to carry the heavy book and be carrying it about? So I'm glad that we have come to the realization that we should not use religion or culture as an excuse to become a barrier, because those things can be overcome, and they are being overcome. And I'm glad that we are seeing that it's very easy to empower women. It doesn't cost anybody his position. It doesn't cost anybody his life.
All right.
It doesn't cost anybody his reputation.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Enede. Now, let me get back to Lizzie Asomoga. I understand she has just a short time to spend with us. And I'm going to put this to you. Gender equality conversations, sometimes face resistance. I'm sure you will agree with that. But how do we then balance advocacy with cultural realities in Nigeria?
Thank you so much for the question. I believe the cultural reality, yes, you're right, but is now a thing of the past, where women are behind. For me, it is no longer the case. Women are now coming out despite the culture and everything. It is no longer the case like what we used to have. And advocacy remains the best thing, which is telling them why they need to come out. Because I said to people, you cannot complain when a meeting is being called and you won't make yourself available to make contribution. If they say come out and you refuse to come out, I'm sorry, you don't have right to say, oh, why was this decision taken? You must come out to be part of the discussion so that you make your contribution. Then you can say, no, this is not right, this is right, or This is wrong. But when you sit back and refuse to come out and join the conversation and refuse to participate, I'm sorry, you won't be able to make your contribution. Just like election is coming up next year. Some people feel, no, there's no getting voters card. I said, no, get your voters card, do your own part. Do your own part, get your voters card, come out and vote that day. Secure your, after vote, what are you going to do? It's already a public holiday. For me, that day, I always go with my water, my smoothie, coffee, and everything, and I sit and watch what is happening. We must sacrifice. Everything aligns with the theme of the year, give to gain. You must give your time that day and sit and come out and monitor it yourself so that tomorrow you can say, oh, in my polling unit, this election was free and fair. But if you don't come out to be part of the conversation, you cannot complain. So cultural barrier is a thing of the past. People have come to understand that if you don't come out to contribute, nobody's going to listen to you.
Lizzie Asomoga, Center Leader, Center of Excellence for Gender, Technology and Sustainable Development, joined us via Zoom from New York. We appreciate your time on Good Morning Nigeria. Thank you for joining us.
Me.
All right. Now, I have a couple of messages that have come in from our guests who are contributing to the conversation. Now, this one reads, I am proud of our women in the whole world. God himself praised our mothers 75%, while the fathers 25%. May Almighty Allah continue to bless our women. Amen. I'm not sure I get the name here, but thank you for sending in your message. And this one is from John Sadiku from Ajaokuta in Kogi State. He says the government should provide economic empowerment or employment for the women. Economic employment? Okay. Now, access to finance is also important. The government should also ensure that women have access to quality health care. Women are the backbone of every man. They are strong and resilient. Women are very important because without women, I will not be born into this world. All right, that's from John Sadiku. I like your sentiments, but let's get back quickly to Haja Laire, who's joined us from Mina. From Mina in Niger State. Now, Haja, if we are looking at peculiarities, talking about the area that you live in, that you are joining us from, child marriage and girls' education remain major concerns, for regions like yours. So how is the ministry addressing this?
Thank you very much. The ministry is doing well concerning child marriage, early child marriage, and cases of child marriage, early child marriage, let's put it that way. We do a lot of advocacies against child marriages, sensitizations, awareness for women when they do such, when they carry out such events, I'll put it that way. Early child marriage is not something that is palatable for a state of this nature, especially with the opportunities that are being given to women now. So when they come with cases of early child marriage, the ministry mediates to see the reason behind such marriages and how they go about such issues, in the sense that we sit down with them, we understand them, we enlighten them on the need not to do child marriage, not to get involved in child marriage, and we look at the effects and disadvantages of child marriage for them. We let them understand that this is this and this is that. They need to not put kids in that situation. So with the advent of the opportunities that are given to women, the families have begun to understand that, yes, when you marry your child off at a very tender age, she's bound to have a lot of health problems, which you would least expect. We have a lot of gender-based violences that are happening in homes, especially domestic violences. This sometimes comes with child marriages. So we do a lot of advocacies and sensitizations. Thank you.
much, Aja, for that. Let me also read out some of the comments that have been sent by some of our viewers here. This is from Muhammad Awal Musa Afema from Kano. It says, "Good morning, Nigeria. In light of continued abductions of schoolgirls, what community-led protection systems can Nigeria build to ensure that seeking an education does not remain a security risk for our daughters?" Now, this second one is, okay, the name is not here, but let me just read it out. It's like, "Good morning, Nigeria. I joined the millions of Nigerians congratulating women for this year's International Women's Day. I would like the media to help this country, particularly women, how they can embrace family planning to curb procuring children indiscriminately, which has constituted army of criminality. Until we produce a number of children that the family can adequately cater for, we will not get out of this mirage of criminal activity in our country. Government, with active collaboration with civil society organizations, should speak to our traditional and religious leaders to speak to the mind of our people to embrace family planning." Dr. Adeni, probably you would like to respond to that, and maybe you respond to that before I ask you this question that I want to ask you. Maybe quickly respond to that, and then I can ask the follow-up with the question.
Thank you very much. So one of the things that we can do to ensure that children are protected, number one, the government have to deploy maximum security to the schools. If the government wants to make sure that a place is highly protected, the government can do it. We have the security resources. We have the manpower. We have a very active and thriving different military organizations and levels in Nigeria. So we need to ensure that we are focusing, especially in the vulnerable areas. Parents need to be assured that when their children go to school, they will return safely. The schools should also work in collaboration with the community and traditional leaders of that community, because there is a saying that if your enemy within doesn't kill you, the one outside can't. So we need to work together in unity. We need to ensure that these children are protected. We have schools, there are some schools that deploy extra police officers to ensure that, the armed police officers, to ensure that the children are protected. When the parents see this, when the insurgency people, all of this, whatever name they are called, their sect, when they see this, they will also be put aback. We know the government is trying, but they can do better. These schools, the children need to be encouraged that when they go to school, parents need to be encouraged that when they go to school, their children will return. The community leaders have a role to play. They need to ensure that the schools are where they look out for what are the loopholes in the school. How can we tidy up every open loop? How can we communicate? How can we ensure rapid response if there is anything like that? So this role is even far beyond the government. It has to do with both. It's far beyond the parents, I beg your pardon. It has to do with the government coming in place. It has to do with the leaders ensuring that there is maximum security. Okay. And we're working together in unity to create a safe space for these children, because education is the right of every child. And it's the right of the government to ensure that these people are protected, these children are protected, and they are safe in every area possible.
And the other one is about the family planning issue.
Okay, I didn't get that question. I was writing an answer.
Okay, you say that there is a way that women need to be educated or better informed, not to bring in as many children as they will not have the capacity, to take care of.
Yes, of course. It's wisdom. It's wisdom. You can't bring a child into this world. And number one, if you yourself, you're not spacing your child properly, you're putting yourself at risk, high risk, maternal risk of childbirth, which is one of our issues in Nigeria. A woman going into delivery room and coming out, which is not supposed to be a prayer point or testimony, it is now an issue. Our country is on a blacklist of the countries where we have high maternal mortality rates. And this can be avoided. The woman needs to be educated. She should go for family planning. It is your body. You are the one carrying the body. You need to have a way to present it to your partner. There's no woman that will tell me that she doesn't know how to collect something from her husband. If you want to collect it, He will collect it. Yes. Yes, this is the power of the woman. You know how to get what you want. So you know how to, it's not something that you have to be fighting. You have to be, it's your health. It is your right. So you need to let him know, Oga, if you know, you need to allow my body rest. If you want to enjoy ourselves, we can enjoy ourselves. Let's do family planning. There's no crime against it. Even your creator expects that your body relaxes. Even the animals, the way they conceive, they don't conceive right immediately. There's a cycle that animals have. That's the natural cycle. So you need to ensure that, number one, you prioritize your health. Because it is not just a detriment to yourself. The country's name is also at risk. Each time a woman loses her life to childbirth, Nigeria's statistics is at risk. The name of the country is at risk. So you need to protect your life, you need to protect your country, and you need to make sure that your health comes first. It is not optional. This is 2026. We are no longer in the olden. Even then, they space their child. You see the way they space their child. You see children having 2 years apart or 1 year apart. And now you don't have that maximum comfort of education. The school fees alone is enough for you to have family planning. So we need to think about it, and we should stop being liabilities to our community, to our family members, to the world at large, but make sure that you plan yourself and prioritize your health, most important.
So we should be running this campaign.
The campaign.
All right.
It's not just the women. It's everyone's responsibility. The government have been campaigning. The organizations, the partners have been campaigning. We need to also let them know in the family, especially those that may not have access to the modern news and all of that. And thankfully, NTA is we have radio networks and all of that. We should run the campaign, make it known. Everyone should be involved, because every woman's life out there is important. And so you do not have to be part of the statistics. You also need to wise up as a woman individually. Make sure that you prioritize your health, because it's your life.
All right. Just like we would probably consider convening a conference of men on how to guard our pockets, seeing where you are coming from. But let's get to it. And I'm thinking, do you think that gender policies in Nigeria are strong enough? Or is it a problem of implementation?
We have very strong policies. From the United Nations level, the ones who domesticate, the ones who have signed on to Commonwealth, up to the African Union, the ECOWAS, and our homegrown policies like the National Gender Policy. I watched the young woman from Policy Innovation speak to that yesterday during the 9 p.m. news segment. And I was excited the way she spoke, very patriotic and very factual, what she said. We have enough. I happen to be the first coordinator of the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act in FCT, and by implication in Nigeria, because FCT has very special status. So if you look at it, all the documents we have, we want to look at Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action. There is already 30 years. And no country has been able to sign the kind of policies, frameworks like Nigeria. We have so many. The problem is the weak implementation. And the weak implementation, we don't want to just put it at the doorstep of government. Like I mentioned earlier, in the past we did a lot of activism. Now we are beginning to see that it's important to do activism, but it's more profitable to do advocacy. You try to ask government, there are things some of them are not aware of. Take, for example, if you want to look at the FCT, FCT does not have any document of its own to say, okay, this is how you empower women. But if you see what, if you look at what the president, who happened to be the governor of FCT, they say, I know there has been argument about the constitutional status of FCT. But if you look at what the minister of FCT has done, I just remembered a while ago when we were speaking, I said, look, for the first time, he created structures of empowerment. He's not waiting for gender policy or anything. He created the office of the
head of service,
director, head of service. He put a woman there, an indigenous woman. Then he created the mandate secretary, which time they talk about it, they call it tier rubber mandate secretary, and put Dio. Benjamin, Dr. Dio Benjamin, yes, he put her there. And if you look at it in everything, all the structures he created, put so many female permanent secretaries, he put so many female directors, and if you put so many special areas that he created, he put women.
Okay.
So if we don't act outside the box.
We'll take a break now.
Okay.
Well, when we come back, you'll continue so that I have a follow-up to that question. Okay. So that you can continue on your line of thought. We'll take a break now. When we come back, the conversation will continue. Stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. You're still on to Good Morning Nigeria on the network service of the NTA. And our discussion is still on investing in women and girls, and our guests are still here. Madam Ene, before we took that short break, you were talking about, the several policies that have been put in place, but not proper implementation, to drive this policy for full achievements. But there are some people that have been canvassing for the fact that we should have a constitutional review where we create a platform exclusively for women to devoid of competition from the male folk, so that they can have more say in order to brighten their chances. That if we look at the election, for instance, most of the women are not favored in that because of, they do not have the capacity, either financial muscle or the grassroots capacity for them to be able to compete with their male counterpart. What's your take on this?
Yeah, I agree with all that because I just looked at, I said, look, we've been doing this advocacy. We can't afford to be eternal advocates. Let us do something. I contested the election in 2019, so I understand exactly what you are talking about. Whether you have the financial capacity, you have a sufficient terror capacity to match terror for terror. I'm not a violent person, but that's how the system has been for a while. Even if you have a godmother or a godfather, sometimes it doesn't, most times it doesn't translate. So I agree with you absolutely. So unless we are able to do something out of the box, we take action, it will not work well for us. It will not, when I say for us, you are not looking at the women, but you are looking at your country. For example, the National Gender Policy specifies 50% of opportunities, spaces, voices, anywhere, whatever you are doing, 50% minimum. Well, we are not even getting 10%. So how do you start? The best way to start to be able to assist Nigeria to come out of its own cage now is this special consideration that has happened in other countries. 2 days ago were the celebration of 113th anniversary of the International Women's Day by Ethiopian embassy. They were also celebrating 130 years of victory when they gained independence against the Italian government. And when they spoke glowingly and elaborately about the hope they have in Nigeria. Nigeria, the big brother. It's not about Nigeria, the big brother by mouth. People, when they get angry, they get offended, they begin to say Nigeria is not even giant of Africa. Even world powers, world democracies, world economies, they recognize Nigeria as a power block that they need to connect with. So if you are being recognized that way, why will you not do the right thing? Now our women are the international, they are in New York, celebrating the Commission on the Status of Women, when all the countries of the world converge to take stock of what they are doing for women. So why will Nigeria not be able to say something positive? That's why the myth, the drama around the special seats, we can't understand it. If you say you want to give women six seats, one per the political zone. Is it that you gather plenty hyena or lion and you drop one lap of one chicken for them? What do you want to do? That's what the Senate is telling us. But the House of Representatives is a laboratory and has the large heart. It's okay, we can share this space. You can bring 3 women for the Houses of Assembly. You can bring 1 seat for House of Representatives. You can bring 1 to the Senate so that you grow this number. If you, I don't know if they are consulting with somebody like Minister Wike. I don't know how he consulted with the president before he's able to grow the FCT, which is becoming a model that you have women. Nobody is threatened. It's about complementarity. It's about seeing that there is a gap to be closed. So this is the challenge, is the lack of political will. Nobody should be afraid. And I'm glad that the fear, the agitation is being broken down. Even the way we did the campaign this time, it's not like before, we'll not go agree, oh, you caused this. We've been very civil, we've been very persuasive. We're bringing arguments that is not threatening anybody's position. So there's no reason why we shouldn't get it. I don't know where we want to end up if we don't get this special seat.
Time will tell, because it's still something that is work in progress. But
if you look at the election timetable, there is a ceiling that will never go beyond. So if we don't take that decision fast, if they don't quickly reconvene and take that decision like they did,
they are reconvening just tomorrow, and the constitutional review is one of the priorities as they reconvene.
Yeah,
so let's wait and see and see what happens tomorrow. Thank you very much. And then let's get back to Mina, where Hajala Ray Ibrahim is. And I'd like you to share from your own experience how you think that state governments can collaborate with the private sector, the NGOs, development partners, to scale impact in terms of empowerment of women and girls.
Okay, before I go into how the government is collaborating with other stakeholders, I would like to look at the issue of gender policies. The gender policy in Niger State is a very strong one, which already has been implemented. 1 or 2 or more has been implemented. You see, when you talk about a policy being strong, it's the ability of that policy to penetrate where it's meant for. What do I mean? You have a policy. This policy, where does it belong to? Of course, the Niger State Ministry of Women Affairs is an institutional platform that is used, that is meant to push these policies into the right places. So the Ministry of Women Affairs as a platform for implementation of all of this policy, I will say in Niger State, these policies have been implemented. How do I mean the gender policy? In the state now, we have the state national policy, which we are following to do the implementation, after which we go into the rural areas, the urban areas, to discuss these policies with them through advocacies, sensitizations, awareness of every possible best. And then with the policy, it has already laid pillars that are supposed to be followed. There's a guideline to which the policies are to be implemented. Like in the area of agriculture, we have a gender policy on agriculture. We have a gender policy on health. We have that on women, peace and security. So you see that all of these policies are actually very good policies. That will depend on the state. But as far as Niger State is concerned, we are doing the implementation of these policies. And that is why the last time we were discussing the issue of gender-based violence, we do have individuals who come to the ministry to seek for mediation on the issue of gender-based violences. Sometimes we do referral. That is where the stakeholders come in. We have the female lawyers who come in. We have the CBOs also that come in and go through or go to the rural areas to inform them on these policies and what is needed concerning the policy. All of it is about implementation. So we're doing very well in Niger State with gender policies. Coming to the issue of government partnering, we partner a lot with the CBOs, stakeholders of other ministries, other ministries, the stakeholders, nationally or internationally where possible. We have the women, UN Women that comes in every now and then to provide skills for women. We have women in ICT. Presently, I'm telling you, we have young ladies who will be doing training in ICT. And the ICT part is the AI part. The AI is something that is not very common with women. So with the opportunities that are being brought forward, you find that everybody has the zeal, as far as Niger State is concerned, and I mean women. They have this zeal to want to learn. They are eager to learn. They have been given a voice because of the advocacies and the sensitizations we do around. So you find that a woman will just come up to you and tell you, okay, please ma, I need your help. At home, I am suffering this, I'm suffering that. We refer. So implementation is on the ground in Niger State, and we're really doing it well. Thank you.
Much, Hajia Ibrahim. Now let's come back to the studio, and I just want to read out some of the comments that we have received from some of our viewers here. This one is from Elder Emmanuel Otom from Akwa Ibom State. He says, in the spirit of investing in women and girls, last week, girls from the Federal Government Girls College 101 in Akwa Ibom State participated in National Robotics Championship in Abuja and won to represent Nigeria outside Nigeria. Are these students going to sponsor themselves to represent Nigeria? That's a question. Well, I mean, the organizers will have to respond to that. Now, this from Dahiru Idris Dangoma. He sent this message from Gariki, Abuja here. He said, good morning, Nigeria, especially the attendants in the studio. Let me appreciate our mommy, Madam Ene, including other speakers I saw there. My suggestion here, I want federal government intended to consider all and entire women and girls support on their ambition to give them more effort to get what they want. I think it's trying to ask governments to give women more support for them to be able to achieve what they want. Dr. Adeni, let me just ask you this question. We have been talking about women now, but we know that there are some women that are physically challenged, you know. How can we create a more inclusive and supportive environment for women of such, women and girls that are physically challenged?
Thank you very much. One of the issues facing the people with disabilities, these are the ones that are most marginalized. In most of the challenges, when you have issues of sexual and gender-based violence, because some of them may not even be able to run, they can't do anything. They've had complaints where they've been, you know, they just impregnate them and run away. Someone just rapes them and get away with it. So we need to ensure that, number one, our community is well inclusive. Every organization, every building, when you walk into a building, are you making it accessible for these people with disabilities? When you're making decisions, when you're coming up with decisions, are you considering, okay, can someone who is blind read this? Or what we need to make something that is accessible to all, because it's being
inclusiveness.
Yes, and we need to ensure that we need to include them. Inclusiveness, that's the word. We need to make sure that our community is inclusive, our community is accessible, and we're still lagging behind in Nigeria. But we need to do more of that. Some of the things that we do, some of our advocacy at Assam Foundation, we reach out to the people with disabilities. We ensure that we have one of them as one of our ambassadors. We ensure that they speak, because they are the ones that can understand the pain that they go through, the challenges that they go through. Nobody can understand it except them. So they also need to be given opportunity. Women with disabilities also need to be given opportunity in leadership. Because when we're making decisions, it takes somebody who's in their shoe to be able to make a decision that is going to be suitable for them. So we need to also ensure that there are seats for them in leadership in our parliament. We need to have people representing them, not just making decisions for them who has not walked in their shoes, but you've got to walk in their shoes and you've got to be able to make that decision. That is when Nigeria will be shown forth to the world as a country that is truly inclusive, because we have quite a number of work to do in inclusivity of people with disabilities. Yes.
All right, thank you, Dr. Olajimoke. Now let me take the last two messages that I have here. Good morning. For me, women are doing very well in our country. I will first of all congratulate them on the International Women's Day celebrated all over the world. Therefore, if you empower a woman, you are empowering the whole world. So government should involve women in all aspects of life. That's from Mr. Dantis in Plateau. Okay, thank you. And this one is from Benjamin Orie in Ebonyi State. Good morning, Nigeria, he writes. I'm glad with the ideas on this program this morning. My comment goes to the speaker who joined from New York. Unfortunately, she's left. It's a good thing hearing from her when she said that women need to be engaged more and also in digital skills, especially in this era of AI that has reshaped the digital economy. I must say, Ebonyi people need more sensitization and a hub to give women digital empowerment. Now, is this something that you like to have a say? How much, I had thrown that question earlier to Dr. Lizzie Asomoga, who joined us from New York, but have your say. How important is technological empowerment for women at a time like this?
It's so important to the extent that for strange reasons I came to the studio alone. I have many young people with me. Imagine if I don't know how to, at my age, I don't know how to use technology. I would have been dragging the NTA staff now to assist me. So it's absolutely important, and I'm glad that we have government structures, we have civil society, we have faith-based organizations ensuring that technology is being imbibed as part of our national life. I know some people are afraid. We are told at this meeting we had recently that there's a community that they ban women from using a phone. Not just Android phone, any kind of phone, that they may use it without permission of their husband. We say, well, they need to be educated that this is so important. To that extent, it's so important that we at private level invest in this. I recall recently we were given opportunity to work in IDP by an international organization, the Doka Trauma Care Center, to work in Plateau and Benue. And what I told them, they said, okay, choose whether you want to empower, you want to do the program focusing on men alone or women alone. And what I told them was that I want to have 20 persons with disabilities, 20 men and 20 women, so that it will be truly inclusive, so that all the opportunity to learn, because there's a component of learning, the capacity building, let them be able to learn newer things that they have not known. So it is absolutely important. It is not too harmful if we are guided in using it. So if we don't use it, we'll be so left behind and we will not be empowered and will not have opportunity of all stakeholders giving us to be able to gain, which is the time now for us to get this done. So it's absolutely important for everybody, whether you are literate, you are semi-literate, you are high profile, you are middle class. So it's absolutely important to make it also affordable.
It's important to make it affordable.
Accessible.
Okay, thank you.
Then there should be light to power it.
All right, light, accessible and affordable. As we begin to round up this conversation, Dr. Olajumoke, let's in just less than 1 minute, how can we ensure sustainability and continuity of all these various initiatives, to empower the women?
Okay, we need to ensure, number one, whatever we're doing, we have to have long-term goals planned for it. We can't afford to say we want to do it and make it just a one-off event. No, it's something that we need to do. Repetition is what begets mastery. So we need to ensure that every program and intervention, as we see that they're working, we need to make sure there is long-term goals for these things to be repeated so we can get better results each time we implement it. The maternal health of the women should also be prioritized, because it takes a woman to bring life into this country. So each time a woman is not put in that, you're losing either a doctor that could save, you're losing a teacher, you're losing somebody that could have added value onto you on some things that are avoided.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Olajumoke. Let me take my final 1 minute to Haja Larry in Mina. Now, if you may, just in 1 minute, please, what policy reforms do you think are needed to ensure that women have equal opportunities in governance and leadership?
Okay, thank you. The opportunities now, I think in Niger State, the opportunities are already there. Right now that I'm speaking with you, we have about 130 women that have been appointed as deputy chairpersons from each of the local government, which is about 25 local governments in the state. So we have women that are already been appointed to be leaders. But the real issue is when you come to the issue of governance, and it's all about inclusivity. More women should be brought to the round table. If you have 1 or 2 on the round table and you think those women are the ones that are representing the nation in the areas of opportunities, then we have not done it. Like we're seeking for more seats now. If you are giving only 6 seats in the whole country, only 6 seats for women, I think that is small. But when you bring in more women onto the table, you find that when discussions are taking place, when decisions are being made, these women can easily be carried along. They understand their pain. They know what's happening. So by the time you have that number of women on the table, there's a better opportunity for these women. Thank you.
Right. Hajala Ray Ibrahim, Director of Women Affairs at the Niger State Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development. We appreciate your time and your perspectives. Thank you for joining us. Let me also thank here in the studio Ene Ede, who is a gender advocate. Thank you very much for coming.
It's our pleasure. Thank you, NTA.
And finally, Dr. Olajumoke Adeni, Head of Operations at Hassam Foundation. Thank you very much for your time and your thoughts.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
All right, and that's Good Morning Nigeria. We thank you for watching. I am Victor, as well. Let's do this again tomorrow.